Marie Arnold. We're just going to pause here a moment as I see everybody's connecting, give everyone a chance. Tonight, we're going to be celebrating their recent books, Becoming Muhammad Ali, Finish the Fight, and The Year I Flew Away. All right. I think we have just about everyone. So we'll go ahead and get started. So hi again, everyone. Welcome to PMP Live. My name is Michelle, and I'm a bookseller with our Children and Teens Department. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're happy to break bread with you as we hear from three critically acclaimed authors, Kwame Alexander, Veronica Chambers, and Marie Arnold. We're celebrating their recent books, Becoming Muhammad Ali, Finish the Fight, and The Year I Flew Away. We'll also learn about their favorite recipes, which should make for a cozy winter evening. We'll drop the links for purchasing their books into the chat box. So if you don't already have copies, you can reserve yours tonight. You can also check out our website for other great titles by the authors. Tonight, you can ask the authors questions by clicking Q&A. I guess that's just drawing attention to Q&A located at the bottom of your screen. You can also vote on your favorite questions there. And at the end, we'll have time to go over some together. As always, please remember, this is a creative, safe space, and we ask that folks be respectful of one another and any questions and comments. Now, on to tonight's event. It is my pleasure to introduce award-winning authors Kwame Alexander, Veronica Chambers, and Marie Arnold. Kwame Alexander is a poet, educator, publisher, and the New York Times bestselling author of 35 books. He's won numerous awards. Booked was longlisted for the National Book Award. Rebound was shortlisted for the UK Carnegie Medal. The Crossover won the Newbery Medal, and The Undefeated won the Caldecott Medal and a Newbery Honor. Kwame is the founding editor of Versify, which aims to change the world one word at a time. The first real book that Kwame read and loved as a kid was Muhammad Ali's autobiography, The Greatest. Tonight we celebrate Becoming Muhammad Ali, which Kwame co-wrote with James Patterson. The biographical novel, told in vivid, moving prose and verse, follows the early years of Cassius Clay. Now, Veronica Chambers is a critically acclaimed author known for her memoir, Mama's Girl, among other works, including Resist, a collection of activist profiles, and The Meaning of Michelle, an anthology on the former First Lady. Born in Panama and raised in Brooklyn, her work often reflects her Afro-Latina heritage. She has been a senior editor at the New York Times Magazine, Newsweek, and Glamour. Veronica leads Past Tense, an archival storytelling initiative at the New York Times. She wrote Finish the Fight with the staff at the New York Times. It beautifully celebrates the stories of lesser-known suffragists, many of whom are Black, Latina, Asian, and Native American. Marie Arnold was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. She moved to America when she was 7 years old and grew up in Brooklyn. Marie enjoys creating stories full of adventure and wonder, which center on girls of color. When she's not writing, she's adding to her an insanely long Netflix queue and trying not to order pizza. The Year I Flew Away is her debut middle grade novel. This deftly woven magical tale follows a young student yearning to fit in as an American and confronted by the racism immigrants often face. And now I'm excited to turn the conversation over to them. So enjoy, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Politics and Prose. We are in the house. I'm excited and energetic. And yes. Veronica is not, because it's midnight in London.
It's okay, Veronica. We'll keep you up. We'll do what it takes.
Yeah, anything for the Versified team, I'm telling you.
Aw.
This is my posse. I love you guys.
I'm all casual with my little scarf, and you about to go to bed, Veronica. And Marie is all super fly.
Look, my mama was watching. I can't have this be half anything. This got to be all together. You know, mama watching. So, and I do want to say congratulations to my mother and father, because it's their 50th anniversary today.
Wow.
So yay, Black love.
50 years is a long time.
50 years. Yeah. I can't long, but yeah.
That's amazing. So, congratulations.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Marie, why you got another window open over here? You see that, Veronica?
Oh yeah.
Do I have another window open?
You got a Biden-Harris Unite for a Better Future window open or something.
Not that I know of. I don't know.
You can't see it?
Well, I guess I guess you can delete that, Michelle. I don't know what's going on. But anyway,
Yes, I don't know what it is, but you can delete it.
we're just gonna carry on.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Thanks. You guys can keep going. Thank you, though, for pointing it out.
Michelle.
No worries.
Michelle just popped up in there. I wasn't really asking her to respond. Oh my goodness. All right.
That's all right. She's Michelle. She got power like that.
Exactly, right? Superpowers.
Yep.
So look, Marie is in LA, where it's hot or warm.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica's in London, where it's probably raining and a little chilly.
Yes.
And I am in Virginia with a foot of snow. So we are all over the world.
We all in there. We're all in.
We're global.
Yeah.
We're not just bi-coastal, we're bi-coastal.
Yeah.
We got some of the coolest authors on the planet today. So Michelle did a great job at introducing everybody. And we're talking about our books. We're talking about food. Marie's new book, which came out on Tuesday, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Brooke birthday, girl.
Happy book birthday. It's called The Year I Flew Away, y'all. And the cover is just outstanding.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And the book is amazing. I feel like we need to toast.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Water.
Water.
Toasting Marie's book, The Year I Flew Away. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well done, my friend. Well done, my friend. And Veronica's book came out in August.
It did.
And it hit the New York Times bestseller list.
It did.
And it is called Finish the Fight. So look, let's all hold up our books.
Yeah.
All right, y'all can take pictures out there in politics and prose land. We got the books held up. Get that picture. Look at those covers. Look at those covers. Beautiful, beautiful. So both of these books, Finish the Fight and The Year I Flew Away, were published by Versify, which is an imprint run by Margaret Ramo, Wesley Turner, Sierra Birch, and myself. So just really excited. So I feel like we should just jump right into this. We got a nice little evening plan for everybody.
Yes.
We're just gonna read a little bit from each book so y'all can get a feel for what we got going on. Since she's the birthday girl, we'll start with Marie, who's gonna read from The Year I Flew Away. Let me set this up. All right. Coming to the stage next, all the way from Los Angeles, California.
So dramatic.
From Baldwin Hills. Where do you live in LA?
Hollywood.
Hollywood, not Baldwin Hills. Hollywood, California. Right down the street from Roscoe's on Sunset and Gower. Give it up. Read Arnold.
Now I'm just hungry. Do you want me to just dive in and read now?
Dive in and read. Give them a taste of this beauty, this magic.
Okay, here we go. The witch, Lady Lydia, stands in front of me, waiting for me to tell her to go away. And that's what I should do. That's what smart girls do. And I'm a smart girl. But I'm also a little curious. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Oh my, I'm so sorry to take up your time like this, Gabrielle. You've made it quite clear that you are not interested in my help. I will go now. I will hope you enjoy the rest of your day, dear. She starts to walk away. When the sharp click of her heels hit the shiny surface of the hallway, they make a clicking sound. Her steps fall in line with the pounding of my heart. Her walk is slow but steady. And with each click, each heartbeat, I become desperate. What if her magic is the only way I will ever make friends? What if I'm standing here doing nothing while my only hope of happiness goes away one click at a time? Lady Lydia, wait. She stops, but doesn't turn around. Yes, she says in a deep, booming voice. I was thinking maybe it's rude not to listen when someone talks, even if that someone is a witch. Are you saying you're interested in my help? I'm saying maybe, I reply as I swallow hard. She smiles. There's ice in her voice and ice even in her smile. Come, dear. Come closer.
Ooh. But hold on, but we didn't know you were an actress.
I am, like literally am.
Literally, she's an actress. We're gonna get into that in a minute. But that reading was fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow. So this is a story about a little girl who comes from Haiti to America, and
Yeah.
she wants to be the perfect American.
She wants to be American, and she wants to be accepted. She wants to get invited to sleepovers. She wants to have hot dogs and just eat cereal like every American she sees on TV. She really wants to be a part of everything. And her mom is making these like elaborate, amazing Caribbean meals. And she's like, no, I want hot dogs. I want, cookie crisp or whatever, because she doesn't get that, this is healthy and this is, she just wants to belong.
And Lady Lydia is going to help her.
Lady Lydia offers. She is one of the biggest witches of Brooklyn.
The biggest witches of Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, there's several of them. Lady Lydia offers her a chance to fit in and become American by offering her a chance at a magical mango.
Okay, stop. No, don't give them everything. Don't give.
No,
them
that's okay. That's just the thing in the back of the thing. You're good. It's still in the blurb. You're good. But basically, she gets a chance to have all her dreams come true, but the price is high.
The price is high, y'all. And this is all taking place in Brooklyn, a place Veronica knows very well. Veronica, Veronica, what's your connection to BK?
To BK, well, like Marie, I was a first generation American. My family, I was born in Panama, and then we moved to England, which is why I always say my Spanish accent is a little bit, poquito fea, pero, sabes. But, and then we moved to Brooklyn, and I moved to Brooklyn when I was like 5, and I lived there almost my whole life. I love Brooklyn. It's home.
So you've written a book called Finish the Fight. You've written a number of books.
Yes.
What role do you think Brooklyn played in you becoming a writer?
Oh, I just, I think a few things. I mean, it's funny. I think that book I remember so well, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Like, I just remember trying to figure out like, what was this place? And there was always like many Brooklyns, and the Brooklyn I lived in, much like, that's why I love your writing, Marie, because, I grew up like off of Flatbush Avenue, Beverly Road, Cotillion. Like, it was such an island-filled place, and there was that enclave, but I knew there were other enclaves too. And I was so lucky that I had a great library, and the librarians would just hand me books, and I'd read so fast and bring them back, and they'd hand me more. And I love being match made with books. I love that feeling of not just what I pick up because I'm attracted to it, but somebody like kind of tapping me on the shoulder and saying, you didn't pick this up, but you really should check this out. Yeah. Love that even now. So that mix made me such a writer and a reader,
The book we should really check out is Finish the Fight. So can you share a little bit from that? Or if you have something else you want to surprise us with and read from.
Yeah, so I was going to read from Finish the Fight, which is a story that I wrote with a bunch of different writers at the New York Times. I'll tell you a little bit about the suffragists on the cover. A Native American woman named Zikala Sa, a Latinx woman named Jovita Idar, Angelina Weld Grimke, who's a queer Black woman suffragist, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, Mabel Ping-Hua Lee. But I always say I'm a reader first and a writer second. And February 18th would have been Toni Morrison's 90th birthday. So I've been writing something about her for her 90th birthday, and I've been diving back into her work. And I wanted to read this paragraph from Tar Baby. And I think there's so many things we know about Toni Morrison, but the thing that blows me away is what a naturalist she is and how she writes about the world. So I'm going to read exactly 60 seconds from it. In Tar Baby, she writes, bees have no sting on Ile de Chevalier, nor honey. They are fat and lazy, curious about nothing, especially at noon. At noon, parrots sleep and diamondbacks work down the trees towards the cooler undergrowth. At noon, the water in the mouths of orchids left there by the breakfast rain is warm. Children stick their fingers in them and scream as though scalded. And I was reading that last night. I can't stop thinking about it. I don't know about you. I mean, Kwame's writing is so amazing. He knows I'm one of his biggest fans. When I unpacked from London, Undefeated was in the first box, and then I took a picture and sent it to him and sent it to the Versify editors, and they were like, dang, girl, you already published by us. Stop sending us pictures of Kwame's books. But, like literally it was like the first box of books. But I think what I love about the toggle between reading and writing and going back and reading someone like Toni Morrison is there's always something else to reach for. And I think it's so important I think a lot of times when I was growing up, it was always stories of people of color in like very concrete settings. And I love the nature and the trees and all of that. And I think it's so important to give that in diverse literature as well, the whole world, not just the cities or the hoods, but we should be everywhere. So.
Beautiful. Hey, look, if you're just tuning in, we are breaking bread with Marie Arnold, the author of, hold it up, The Year I Flew Away, and which just came out on Tuesday, which is a middle grade novel. And we are talking to Veronica Chambers, the author of Finish the Fight. Boom, boom, boom. And it's about the revolutionary women who fought for the right for women to vote. Shout out to Amanda Love, Amy Frazier, Bella Lacey, Camille Burden, Cass, Deborah Fields. I'm shouting out a bunch of people who are watching this. All right, y'all. Elizabeth Shank, Emma Harden, Karen Lewis. Hey, look, I just really appreciate y'all. Oh, Margaret's there. Hey, guys, Margaret Ramos here. Margaret Ramos, our editor. Hey, Margaret.
Our editor, the best.
Woohoo! Margaret's there. So we appreciate y'all being here. We talked about Brooklyn. We talked about nature. We talked about trees. I grew up in Crown Heights on a tree-lined street. I grew up on President Street between Brooklyn and New York Avenue.
I literally know exactly the street you're talking about.
I grew up in
so yeah.
1316 President Street. When you're in Brooklyn, you ain't got nothing to do, drive by my old house.
Right. Well,
But
now my weekend's planned. Okay, good.
I felt like we lived in the country. I felt like we lived in the middle of the city, but we had our own sort of like space. And it felt like a place that was not just sort of, it was urban and country. I feel like it was up south. I don't know. But my point is, in saying that, is when I wrote Ali, I tried to remember what it was like growing up in Brooklyn at age 11 and 12 and playing stickball in the street with my friends after school. And this book is about Muhammad Ali when he was a kid. So it was before he became Ali, when his name was Cassius Clay. So this particular piece I wrote took place on the street. He and his friends were playing. It's called The Accident. We were playing ball on Virginia Avenue, our block against theirs. It was me and Riney, Short Bubba, and Lucky against Cobb, Big Head Paul, Jake, and Tall Bubba. Rudy was still sick with the chickenpox bad, even though our neighbor told us we could cure him by flying a chicken over his head. Cobb's block always beat us because Big Head Paul was a three-sport legend in the West End. He could hit a rock with a pencil. And Tall Bubba from Snaketown, from Smoketown, he had arms so long, he could probably box with God. He caught everything. But then Cobb pitched me a fastball that I cracked so high, it went way over Tall Bubba's outstretched arms and landed inches from the storm drain near the corner of 36th and Virginia, where it slowly rolled in before he could grab it. Tall Bubba was the only one with arms long enough to reach down the drain. So he did, and no sooner than he screamed, "I got it, fellas!" It blew up right in his face. We used to smell gas all the time around there, but none of us ever figured it was anything that mattered. We never saw him after that until we sat in Rainbow, splitting 2 cheeseburgers and fries, telling jokes, winking at every girl that walked by with her mama. We never saw him until today. Yeah, there we go.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about our story. Go ahead, Marie.
I just want to tell you, because I didn't get a chance to say, I really enjoyed the book. I really loved the rhythm of it, the pace. Like it felt like it was moving. It was moving and it had its own sort of beat. And I think that it's really awesome.
Thank you. Veronica, why do you write for children?
I sometimes say that I write for kids because I'm very in touch with my inner 15-year-old. But I think that, I still buy kids' books. My daughter keeps getting older and older, and she grows out of things, and I just keep going back into it. I think that narrative is how we understand the world. And I think that the more we tell these stories, be they in picture books or middle grade books or chapter books, it's all a way of like illuminating what we know, what we want to know, what we're struggling. And I love the books themselves, and I loved the books as readers, and I love writing for this audience.
Marie, The Year I Flew Away has been reviewed really well. Tell us the writing process. How did you write this book? Give us the play-by-play.
I mostly kept my mouth shut and stayed out of the way.
You got to explain that.
My characters, they come, they walk around the house, they kind of take a tour, and they decide if they like me. Then they'll tell me their story. And the only obligation I have, contractual, is to stay out of the way. Wow. So the quickest way to get the book done is to get out of the way. I don't know how else to really explain it, but yeah, I just stay out of the way.
Interesting. That's interesting. I was in my bedroom December 2008, right before Christmas, and I got an email from an editor who said, "James Patterson is interested in writing a book with you. Are you interested?" And I was like, huh? What?
What do you think about it?
I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm a little busy right now. Maybe not. I mean, I'm honored, I'm flattered, but no, I'm good. I mean, you got to know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you got to know what your time is, what you're capable of. Yeah. And I just didn't think it was, and I had a book due to Margaret, who's on the call.
We all have a book due to Margaret. I know you're paying.
Margaret, right?
We all have a book.
Yes, we do. We love Margaret. Margaret, we love you.
Margaret, yeah.
So I told him I was honored, but I didn't think I could do it. And then I'm in my room and I get a call, and it's James Patterson. And he says, "Kwame." And he began to pitch me on why I need to do this book. And he had done his research. This is where you know this cat is the real deal. He said, "Kwame, I know that you had a relationship with Muhammad Ali's autobiography. Like I used to date that book or something. Like, what do you have a relationship with a book?" But I did. Like, it was the book at age 12 that I read that I couldn't put down, that ironically enough was published in 78 by Random House, Veronica, and Ali's editor was Toni Morrison. Right? Look how it's just full circle. So it was a book, 400 plus page book I couldn't put down as a kid, and it got me excited about reading. So he recounted this story to me that I had told, and he was like, "This is the perfect book for you to do and for me to do, and I'm not going to do it without you." So of course I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah, wow.
I could not do it. And so we got into the writing process, and I love collaborating, and I know you collaborate a lot, Veronica. I love collaborating, and so we're writing. He's writing, then I'm writing. I'm sending what I got to him. He's sending what he has to me. So one time, Marie, he sent me like chapter 4, and I read it, and I was like, something's not working here. Now, mind you, let me preface this, y'all. Everyone knows this. James Patterson is the world's best-selling author for the last
Yeah.
years. Like he's literally the
For sure, yeah.
best-selling author.
Yeah.
So I sent him an email and I said, Jim, this is great. You should consider doing this with this and maybe change this to that. And
Wow.
that was kind of bold. My dad was like, that was really bold, but I was being real.
Yeah.
He sent me an email back and he said, Dear Kwame, I would never even think of questioning your poetry because you are the expert. Sincerely, Jim.
Wow. Now I would frame
That's all he said.
I would frame that.
Wow.
That's all he said. So I didn't reply. I was like, cool, I guess he ain't gonna do it. But here's the cool thing, Marie. He made the change.
Wow.
Nice.
Ultimately, he's such a smart guy. He's such a real writer. He knows that when you're writing for children, you are in service to the kids.
Yeah.
It's not about our egos. It is not about the book. It's about the kids. And are you writing something that's going to help them imagine a better world? Like it's sacred work that we do, y'all.
Yeah. Completely.
So
I love that story though.
yeah,
That's
Awesome.
cool.
I love that guy. So we've been talking. It's been 30 minutes. So let's get into the breaking bread piece. So people who are watching it, thank you all so much for tuning in again. Shouting out Shay Youngblood.
Shay Youngblood.
Yeah.
She's an amazing novelist and playwright and painter. She does it all. If I could paint y'all, I wouldn't even be on this call.
Me too.
Oh my God.
Matthew De Guzman, Lizzie Kelly, Lisa Feinstein. Breaking Bread is a little series of talks, conversations where we talk about our books and then we talk about the food that's inspired by our books. And if we're really good, we make the dish that we're talking about that's been inspired by the book. So I'm gonna start first with a dish that was supposed to be inspired by Muhammad Ali, but it is not. Well, it's sort of inspired by it because I had dental surgery 2 days ago. And for the past day, I haven't been able to feel the whole right side of my face. So I can't eat anything. And if I can't eat anything, I can only eat soup. And Muhammad Ali didn't really eat soup. If I can't eat it, I ain't making it. I'm sorry. It's no way. And nobody else is in this house right now but me. So I did make something for today. I made a smoothie. I made a kale smoothie for today. I cooked it, Marie. Don't try to hate.
Hey, look, there's no judgment. There's no judgment.
So,
listen. Okay, Kwame, you got an email from James Patterson. Very little you could do right now. Could get to me, okay? This
the connection is every day after Ali started boxing at age 12, he used to run in Chickasaw Park in Louisville, Kentucky. And he used to wear green garbage bags, you know, to sort of get his heart rate up, sweat, you know, lose his body fat and that kind of thing. He used to wear green trash bags. And so he ate onions, he ate garlic. He didn't drink any sodas. He was very healthy, health conscious, taking care of his body as he was preparing to fight. So I got us a green smoothie with kale.
Cool.
You know what? That and the James Patterson letter, I'll let it fly. It's cool. All right.
All right. So Veronica, you next. What you got? What you got? Top this one, Veronica.
The suffragists. So it took almost 100 years for women to get the vote. It was one of the longest movements in American political history, and it took money. And if women couldn't vote and they didn't have anything near pay equity, we still don't, but they didn't have anything like it, the suffrage movement really depended on the sales of items. They sold cookbooks. One of the famous things they did was an angel food cake, but I thought, I'm gonna get up and walk around. I thought that since our book, Finish the Fight, was about integrating the story of suffrage, I wasn't just gonna make an angel food cake. So I actually made this cake with my daughter. It's by a chef in London called Lorraine Pascal, and it's called a crouching tiger hidden zebra cake. And it's like a marbleized
Wow. Hold
angel
on.
food
Show that cake again. We got to see that some more.
Yeah, I just dropped the recipe in the chat to the
That
Politics
looks
and Prose
amazing.
team, but it's pretty good. And the funny thing is that when it comes out perfectly, you can see in the link, it looks like zebra stripes. But my daughter and I were like jamming to No Name while we were making it. So we were like, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. We were like diddy bop, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate.
Right.
And my daughter was like, I don't really care about the stripes. I just want to dance and cook. And I was like, how can I tell her otherwise? So that's what we did.
Oh, so y'all can eat the cake and then you can drink the smoothie so you can feel healthy about it. But
yeah,
it's lovely. That looks amazing. Okay, you win. So far, you win. Now we get to the drum roll. We get to the famous chef. What you got? What you got?
I get the drum roll. I don't need the drum roll. Okay, no drum roll. Nothing fancy. All right. And first, before I show it to you, I have a disclaimer. Marie don't cook. Okay. What she does is appreciate other people who have said talent. Again, that is not me. But I'm Haitian, so we have like 80 people in the house living with us. And I have, can you see that?
Ooh, well, you got a whole meal.
Let's see if we can.
Oh, that looks good.
It's a fried plantains and fried beef and shredded cabbage, which is pickled with a habanero. Scotch bonnet chili peppers that are diced in there. Ooh. So basically, if you go to a Haitian person's house, it's a birthday or something, you're getting fried plantains and you're getting like the salad and the fried foods. And again, I do not cook, but I appreciate cooking. And so, so my relatives made this and I appreciate it and watch from afar. And I eat that appreciation. So
love it.
It's in the book also as a very much a part of Haitian culture. On Easter Sundays, they tend to go to church on Flatbush Avenue, always in Brooklyn. They go to church, and then right after church is this huge feast, you know, where they have like fried plantains and fried chicken and all this other stuff. So that's in the book. So that's what I thought I'd have my kind relatives cook for us.
Wow, that looks amazing. Okay, you win.
Looks so good. You totally win.
You got us both beat.
No, but I believe in a world where we can have all three at the same time. So we can have all three.
We got yours for like the entree.
Right, and she's the
dessert. And then later on, after you work out, then you can get my smoothie.
Yeah, and I like this version of the story because in this version of the story, I work out. So that's real cool. I like that. Let's go with that. Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
So I once made some smoked fish stew with some jollof, and I put a whole Scotch bonnet chili pepper. I diced it all up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I'm African American, but I be questioning the African part because I can't handle all that stuff.
Really?
What in the world?
Oh no, you have to have
too much hot. That's too much hot.
No, there's no such thing.
Apparently not. I got friends from West Africa. They're like, whatever. Put 3-4 Scotch bonnet chili peppers. Didn't call me.
Yeah, like in Nigerian, if you get like a Nigerian stew, it's really thick and gooey and has lots of peppers. It's awesome. There's no such thing as too much peppers.
I would be remiss if I did not say that we just happen to have one of the most esteemed cookbook authors on the planet on this Zoom right now. Veronica Chambers has co-authored several cookbooks with JJ, with Alexander. I mean, she's a true Renaissance woman. So just honored to have her for that particular aspect of breaking bread. But now we got some questions.
Let's do it.
I think Michelle's coming back to sort of moderate the questions, but Mary Quattlebaum is here. We got Christine Steingreber. We got Kate Moran. All right, and there's Michelle. So we'll get to some questions. Here we go.
All right, that was awesome. And thank you guys for bringing something. We got the smoothie, the cake, the Haitian fried food. So now I'm hungry, but let's go ahead and with these audience questions. All right, if you haven't already asked a question, don't worry, it's not too late. You can go ahead and click on Q&A still at the bottom of your screen and add one there. You can also vote on your favorite questions, which will rise, have them rise to the top of the list. So we're gonna go through as many as possible in our time left today. All right, cool. So our first question is from Beth. Let's see, it starts out talking to Marie, but I think all of you guys can answer. So Marie, what was most surprising to you in the process of bringing your book through the birthing process? And then it says, Veronica and Kwame, if you remember back that far, what was surprising to you when you were first starting out and bringing books forward in life?
We'll just do one person per question so we can get through a lot of questions.
All right, well, whoever would like to go for it.
Okay, the part that was surprising essentially is the question.
Yeah, just like how was it bringing this first book to life, like with the middle grade debut?
It was surprising. The word count was different than I'm used to. I'm used to kind of longer books. So I had, a lot more story to tell in a shorter amount of time. So I was surprised by that. And I was surprised by the amount of research that it involved, being that it's a fantasy, it's a, magical realism. You still have to figure out practical things like, how do we make this person invisible, or how do we, so yeah, the research, even in fantasy, was kind of surprising.
Okay, cool. All right, our next one's from Karen. This is for Kwame. Being that you co-authored Becoming Muhammad Ali with James Patterson, how did you collaborate? Did you each write certain parts? Did you share facts that you researched? And if you want to just elaborate a little bit more on the collaboration, feel free.
I mean, I'm not telling y'all all my trade secrets, but I kind of gave you a glimpse into how it worked. Like, he sent me his stuff, then I'd send him my stuff. And we just round robined it. And we trusted each other for the most part, except for that one little blip I had. But it was a really cool relationship, just a back and forth kind of thing. I love writing with that guy. But he wrote the outline. He wrote like a 20-page outline. Like, he's a master plotter. He's no joke.
Cool. Well, that's neat to hear a little bit about the process even more. Thanks. Okay. Karen also has a question for Veronica. I'm so proud that your wonderful book is out in the world. Can you tell us a bit about the research that you had to do, and were you directly involved in the play that was created by the New York Times based on Finish the Fight?
Yeah, I love this question. We did a lot of research. One of the great things about being a journalist is that you're kind of licensed to ask questions. So when we knew we wanted to do this book, we did a really amazing roundtable in what we call the before times. And we had academics and writers, curators come to the New York Times, all who had written about women and voting rights. We were going to interview them for 2 hours. They ended up staying for like 6 hours. And I just love that. I love asking people, not what should I know, but what would I never think to ask? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what they say about music, that it's the space between the notes that makes music. I think it's the space between what you know and what you don't even think to ask, where you find all the richness. And the New York Times loved the book so much that they actually hired a playwright named Ming Pfeiffer, an amazing director named Whitney White, and they filmed it as a theatrical piece. It's more for adults, but it's actually available on demand. If you just Google Finish the Fight, New York Times events, and it's got amazing stage actors in it. And I worked really closely with them. It was really fun to adapt this to the stage.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Hey, Michelle, I got a question from YouTube from Marie. It's from Tiffany. Okay. She says, Marie, this is from Georgia, sorry. Do you in any way relate to the main character in your book?
I am the main character in my book, basically, except she's a lot more intelligent than I am. She's more fearless than I am. She's much more, when the first time she meets, she's like, okay, you're a witch. I get it. She's not afraid. She doesn't do the, oh my, witch exists. She doesn't do that. She's just like, okay, you're a witch, I get it. Like, she has a lot more courage than I do. But yeah, basically a lot of it is me, except for the courage part.
All right, let's see. We've got a question from Matthew. Kwame, if you want to take this, you can, or anybody. It's kind of directed to the group, but are there any strong themes that resonate in your writings, especially in terms of representation?
Veronica, you want to?
Sure. I think that I write a lot about women. I think I write a lot about people about community and like where we find home. I think that's always a thing for me, especially being first generation. It's funny, I just wanted to tag on to what Marie said about her heroine just taking the witch on face value. I remember studying magic realism in college, and I was like, I'm Latina. It's kind of realism, like, it's like, this is just what like people in my house think life is like, and so it was really interesting to, and I like that about your book, Marie. I think it's good to remember that we kind of like I've been thinking a lot because Toni Morrison was so invested in folk tales, like what are the stories that we pass on to each other? And I think one of the things that I love about being a Versify author is that there is this sense of not just like making something elaborate for the page, but it's something that lives on and off the page. It's about the conversations like this and going to schools and talking to kids and really just telling the story, not just writing the story. And that's partly one of the many reasons I love Versify.
Wonderful.
What grade do you say your books are? What grade levels are they appropriate for?
Marie, do you want to go first?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if he's talking to me. I think we're doing, was it nine? I want to say.
Age 9 to 12 kind of thing?
Yeah, 9 to 12, yeah.
And what about you, Veronica?
Mine is pretty much the same. I would say a little bit older, middle grade. So
the thing about, and I think mine fits into it, the same space, but the thing about all of our books is that it's like co-viewing in TV world. Like these are books that kids can read and parents, teachers and students. Like we're writing about topics and subjects that young audiences will be able to connect with, but these stories will resonate with older audiences as well. Like I think that's what makes a really great writer, as the two of you are.
Yeah, that's a great point. Kwame, that kind of leads us into a question from Amanda in terms of like craft and maybe students applying this themselves. Do you have any advice for like aspiring authors or for students wanting to tackle poetry or books in verse?
Yeah, I got some advice. There's this new book that just came out. It's called Kwame Alexander's Free Write Poetry Notebook. It's an activity book and it's a journal for kids who want to write. And it's got a whole bunch of cool stuff in it, exercises and activities. So that's my thing. Students, teachers, parents, get this. But Marie might have something more intelligent to answer.
Marie's gonna order the book. That's what Marie's gonna do. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna get that book.
You don't need it.
A little bit. You can never learn too much, So I'm not being facetious. I would like a copy there, Versified to say. As far as continue with what you said in terms of trying to get to books in verse and stuff like that, I would say the biggest advice I've ever gotten the best advice was to stop criticizing yourself while you're writing. Just write. No one's going to see it at the moment. It's okay to just write, because I know so many people who are like, I have this book in my head, or I have this thing in my head, but then I start and it sounds stupid. And the truth is, all our writing sounds stupid when we first, like, you got to wade through that. So you have to have something to edit. But if you don't write, you can't edit anything. So please just stop criticizing yourself, stop, with the negative thoughts, and just write. And you can't be wrong when you're writing. So that's
brilliant. That's brilliant. Hey, look, it's almost 1 o'clock. We're gonna take one more question, but we got to get one of our guests out of here because it's almost 1 o'clock in London. So we don't want to keep her out too long. So Michelle, we got a final round of questions.
It's like we're in the club, Kwame.
Yeah, we can do one more, 2 more. How many you want? One more?
One more that we can all answer. Make it a good one, Michelle.
Gosh.
no pressure, Michelle.
Right. Okay. How about, what message do you hope readers will take away from each of your works for the books we're celebrating tonight?
I'll go first. We'll end with the birthday girl. The message I hope is that, they can't say it because it's, writers can't say, please go buy my book. You can say it, but it just sounds wild. So I'm going to say it. You all please support authors. Buy these books. Get The Year I Flew Away. Get Finish the Fight. Not just because they're here and we want to buy books, but because these are books that are entertaining, they are engaging, and here's the cool thing, they are empowering. We always talk about how do we raise smart, functional, kind human beings. It starts as an adult, as a kid. The mind of an adult begins in the imagination of a child. So fuel and feed those imaginations with books. And these are 2 books that will be just incredible in that mission. And buy them at Politics and Prose. Get them at your local independent bookstore. That's what I want people to take away from tonight. V?
I love that, and I couldn't possibly say it. But I think for me, like, Finish the Fight is really about the fact that, we hear about change and we hear about heroes. And really the fact is that this is about tons of women you may have never heard about, but they do their part. Like, I like to say that we put a lot of emphasis on winning, but not every race you have to win yourself. Like suffrage, civil rights, all of these great social movements, they were relay races. Each of these people took the mantle and went as far as they could, and then they passed it on. And I think that is a great message to send to kids, because it says, however far you can run, however much you can do, we need it. The world needs every little bit of it, whether or not you end up becoming president or president of your student class, or starting, a food bank or a recycling center, or reaching out to old people in this age where, so many elder people are in jeopardy and alone. Like, whatever you can do, the world needs it. And I think books like this remind you of that.
Marie?
Okay, well, it sounds kind of mushy, emotional, but this little thing here is my drop in the ocean for the cause, the whole immigration situation. It's been kind of, it's very easy to be labeled as a bad thing, immigrants, and just having come from somewhere other than America. And so I'm hoping that if the kids read it, they'll feel a little bit less alone, and that they won't feel like being an immigrant is a bad thing, because that I felt that way for so long. And I'm hoping that when kids read it, they'll feel a little bit less alone.
That's why I rock with y'all. That's why I'll publish y'all forever.
You hear that, Margaret? Okay.
Yeah. Margaret's like, forever, ever.
Ever.
Margaret,
Yeah.
look, I got a mortgage. Look,
She's like missing deadlines forever, ever.
Goodness. Well, that was beautiful, Marie, and everyone. So thank you, viewers, for your questions tonight. And thank you guys. Thank you, Kwame, Veronica, Marie, for joining us tonight. We've certainly enjoyed having you. Viewers, as a reminder, we just want to let you know those links are still in the chat. So you can definitely purchase Becoming Muhammad Ali, Finish the Fight, The Year I Flew Away. And as an independent bookstore, as Kwame said, we do appreciate your support. So be sure to check out our website for updated event listings. You can also follow our Children and Teens department on social media under @KidsInProse. And that about wraps up our evening. So thank you guys again for joining us. Keep
Thank you.
reading, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you for having us. Get some sleep, Veronica.
Go to sleep,
Well.
Veronica. Fly away, Marie.